short time. Okay. Hello guys. I think I'm going to spin. Okay. Hi guys. Can you hear me? Okay, before I want to start, let me do a sound check first, yeah? If you can hear me, can you comment I can hear? Yeah. Hello everyone. Evening. I'm doing a sound check. So if you can hear me, can you just comment in the chat box saying that I can hear? Evening, guys. Good evening. Okay. Good evening. So let me share my screen. Okay, let me know if you can hear me, right? Okay. Right. Let me know if you can hear me. Let me know if you can hear me. Evening, everyone. Evening, everyone. Boleh dengar tak boleh dengar? Or cannot hear? Can hear? Can hear? Okay. Alright. So I'm gonna wait for another 2 minutes, okay, for people to come in. So while waiting, could you please answer this for me so that in the later session I can use this. Okay. So for our session today, it's we're going to talk about what when there's too much to handle, what would you do? Okay, so could you please drop a comment about it? Like, what would you do if you're feeling overwhelming? There's too much to do. What would you do for yourself? What strategies you will use, right? So I'm just gonna leave it here for 2 minutes, okay, while we're waiting for others to come in. So, yep. Okay. So I'm just going to be silent for 2 minutes, maybe. Right. So for those who just came in, good evening. Okay. If you can hear me loud and clear, can you just comment that I can hear? Okay. So I'm just gonna wait for another 1 minute for people to log in. So while waiting for them, can you like share with me like what would you do when you feel there are too many things to handle? Are you feeling overwhelmed, too tired, too many things? What would you do? Right? Just leave a comment for me so I can use this later on in the session. Okay, just a few more seconds before we move on. Good evening, everyone. Thank you for coming in. Okay, that's my comment session working. Okay, let me know if you want me to be louder. Right? If not, I'm just gonna keep in my pace like this. Right. Few more seconds. Okay, while waiting, could you please comment on what would you do when you feel like too many things to handle? Hi everyone. Okay. Now I think I'm going to move on. Okay. Yes, I'm going to introduce myself first. Okay, before I start. My name is. Let me move my slides. My name is Pearly. Okay, I'm a registered and licensed counselor. Um, I'm now in Student Affairs Department. Um, yeah, that's all about me. So what I'm going to share today is that when there's too much stuff to handle, okay, what can we do for ourselves, right? So let's move on. Okay, how is having too many things handled like? How does that look like? Okay, anyone wants to comment for me? How does having too many things look like? Okay, for me it would be something like it would be like too tired. Even if you sleep, you still feel tired the other day. You know. What else? Let me see. You feel like not productive, even though you're doing a lot of stuff. You'll think that you keep dragging stuff, and then you feel nothing is working well. Okay, you feel like nothing will work well, and then you feel not motivated. Okay, you feel really down and doesn't want to do anything, or you feel like want to get sick. Okay, you feel like am I going to get sick later on? You will have some feelings like that. Okay. All right. This is how we feel. Do you want to share with me how you feel? How would you feel if you have too many things or you're too overwhelming? Let me see. I'm just going to turn on my chat section so that I can see what you say. Okay, no one is saying anything. It's okay. Let's move on. If you have something to say, just can put it into your comment section. Right. How would you feel? What would you do when there's too many things to happen? Okay. Anyone want to share with me? Seriously, no one? Okay. Anyone? Really, anyone want to share with me what would you do when there's too many things to handle? What would you do? What's your strategy to help yourself? What would you do to help yourself? No one want to share? So I'll go straight into my own strategies. Okay, don't worry about it. Let's go. Okay, so what I'm going to do next is that I'm going to share with you some ideas on how can you handle it, and some little strategies or techniques you can accommodate into your daily routine or daily work, okay, to help you to perform, not to say perform, but feel less overwhelmed. Okay, so let me introduce you this thing. It's a what we call personal priority pie. Okay, I pulled this out from a TED talk by Alison Austin. Okay, it's an amazing talk. You can go look up for it. Okay, so in this TED talk, she introduced personal priority pie. So let me show you what it is really like. I'm just gonna take this out for a while. Right. Okay, so I'm gonna use my whiteboard. So yeah. Okay. So you have a pie. Okay, this is your pie. This is your pie. A pie represents what it represents? Represents your resources, your limited time and energy. So your limited time, your energy, and all other resources, right? This is what you have. Okay, so now this is your pie. Now what do we put inside? It's put in the all key areas of your life. For example, All right. For example, we have family, we have friends, we have work. Okay, if you're studying, so it's about study, or it could be both. What else we can put? You can put in like personal development, about your health. It's your fun time and leisure time. What else? Rest time maybe. Okay, so this is, can you see? Oh well, I'm sorry about this, but it's okay. So this is all key area of your life. You can categorize it however you want. Okay, you can categorize however you want, because some people would like to categorize family and friends together. Okay, some might prefer to separate them. So it depends on you. How would you like to categorize that? Okay, so in each category, there's all parts of your life. You have to put it in your pie. Okay, within your time, energy, and resources, how would you want to allocate the sizes of the pie to each part of your life? For example, you want to put this much for your friends, maybe this much for your friends, and then how much would you want to put for your work or study? It could be this, or study, and whatever you want, right? So take a little bit of your time, go and think about how would you want to allocate each part of your life. How big of the pie do you want it to be? Okay, so take some time and think about it. So why is this important? Like, what can this bring for you? Okay, the first thing that it clearly shows you that how much of your time and energy you put into each area of your life. Okay, and then it also very clearly show that that is always trade-off when you make the decision how big of a pie is that. You spend like most of the time work and study, do you have extra energy for other parts of your life? Right, so it clearly shows that that is trade-off, and that is you can see that what you want in your life. Okay, what do you want to put more energy in which part of your life? Okay, yeah, so whenever you think that you're wondering why you cannot do everything, you feel like, oh, I think I'm lacking in this part, or you feel like you're feeling useless, you cannot do a lot of things at a time, keep this in mind. You only have limited time and energy. All right, you have limited time and energy. You cannot do everything in a go. Okay, yeah, just let me put this a little bit. Oops, too much. Right. Okay, it's clear. Okay. Yeah, so this is your priority pie. Okay, it's something I think it's worth to take some time to think about this. This does not remain whole of your life. Okay, it changes from one stages of life to another. So, for example, if you're a student, after you graduate, this pie might change. Okay, this pie might change. You might change. Maybe you want friends to be bigger slice compared to other part. Maybe personal development. Okay, it changes from one stages of life to another stage of life. So it's not fixed. All right. Okay. Up until here, do you have any questions? Anyone? Let me check. So I'm just going to run around because I'm going to back and forth the whiteboard. So I'm just ending. Okay. So I will apologize if you keep seeing me big and small, big and small. Right? Any questions for this? If there's none, let me go on. Okay. So let's move on. Okay. Right. For now, I'm just going to go into. Let me put on my slides. Okay. So here you go. So now I'm going to talk about some of the strategies that you can consider. Okay, you can consider when you're in overwhelming situation. Okay, so I'm not teaching you on how you should do your stuff, how you should do your job, or how you should live your life. Okay, I'm just sharing with you some techniques that you can accommodate into your life, your job, your work style. Okay, to help you feel a little less overwhelming. Okay, to able to do your job the way you want. All right. Okay, let's go into the physical stuff. So physical stuff means the it means the job that you can do. Okay. The first one is break the task into smaller goals. I believe everyone knows this. Okay. You have a really big goal. For example, A plus in a particular paper. Okay, I want to get an A plus for a particular paper. So how can you break down that goal into smaller goals? I believe it will be a lot of mastering the basics. It has practicing. Okay, let me assume that it's a mathematics paper. Okay, it's a mathematics paper. So you have to grasp the basics. You have to practice. Okay, a lot of practice, and then a lot of, how would I put it? Practice. There's a lot of part. It could be practice with answers and practice without answers, and then you go on to your past year questions. Okay, all these small little goals. Okay, that helps you to reach for a greater goal. Right, this is one. So second one is batch your tasks. What does it mean is that because our brain is not built for multitasking. Okay, it's not built for multitasking. So batching your tasks helps your brain works in a more constant way, I will put it. Let me give an example. It's about your car. If you're driving, okay, I'm not sure if you're driving, but like when you're driving, if you accelerate, more energy is consumed. Okay, if you accelerate, step on your pedal, brake and accelerate and brake, accelerate and brake, it takes more energy compared to when you're driving at constant speed. Okay, when you're driving in the constant speed, less energy is consumed, right? Did I get it right? Okay, do comment if I get something wrong there. Okay, so yeah, so it sinks to your brain. Okay, so if you keep switching, like for now you're reading, and then later on you're thinking, reading and thinking, reading and thinking. So it's like takes up more of your energy, takes up more of energy. That's why batching tasks helps a little in saving your time and energy when you're doing stuff. Okay, for example, replying email. Do you have to reply every email once you get them? Okay, or you could allocate a time. For example, 10 a.m. in the morning, I'm just gonna sit down and look through all my emails because I believe a lot of people have different inboxes. Right, I have maybe 3 emails that I have to check all the boxes. So I will allocate like 10 a.m. in the morning, maybe 20 minutes, 15 minutes to look through all my emails and then reply the emails I need. And then I will move on to my other tasks. And then if you want to look at your email, maybe after lunchtime, after lunch, we say 1 or 2 o'clock, you come back again. So you wouldn't go through your email. Of course, if it's emergency or urgent stuff, that's a different story. If it's not, it's something not urgent, so you can allocate your time, right? Make a specific time and then batch all your tasks. It can be replying emails, and then later on maybe it's about all the paperwork, the admin stuff you have to do, and then all the practical stuff in one batch. Okay, so batch up into categories that you think that's similar. All right, that one is the second one. Prioritize. Okay, prioritize your tasks. It's very similar to the personal pie, like that one earlier. Okay, it depends on how you are comfortable with what to prioritize first. For example, some people would like to prioritize according to time. Okay, which deadline is nearer. That I will do that one first. But if you don't have the pressure of time, how would you prioritize? Would you go with the difficulty of the task? Will you do the easy first, or would you do the difficult first? Okay, it's something to think about. I wouldn't say there is a specific technique or specific way to identify which to prioritize first, because it's really up to your what you are comfortable with. Okay, is it about the time? Is it about the difficulty of it? Or is it about how important is it for you? Okay, that's prioritize. And the next one is take small steps. Okay, what I mean here is that because a lot of time we have a mindset of I want to plan this properly first before I go on. Okay, sometimes it causes procrastination behavior. Okay, so that's why taking small steps, you just start it first. Okay, when you start, the situation change later on. You'll get the energy built up for you. Okay, this is what I meant for take small steps. Okay, right, let's move on. This is the physical stuff. And the next, oops, that's my slide. Okay, so the next one is about space. What I meant here is physical space. Organize or sort out the things that you do need, or put the things back at where it's supposed to be. Now, I think I shared this in my previous talk. Like, why would this work? Okay, let me share with you. Where did I put it? Okay, so why organizing stuff actually works. Okay, one is that you are actually decluttering your mess when you're sorting things out, which is important, which is not important. You know, okay, you make you consciously or intentionally let yourself know what you have and what you don't need to have. Okay, so you throw out the things you don't need, and in one way, you are telling your brain that I am in control. I'm in control. I know what I don't need, and I know what I need. Okay, it creates a sense of control for you, and for some people, sense of control actually brings relief to them. Okay, this is why organizing your space. Okay, it can be your home, can be your bedroom, or it could be your table. Okay, it could be your office desk. Okay, so this is why it actually works. Okay, I got a question. Like, is there any way to stop procrastination? Let me come back to this later on. Okay, okay, I will move on. Okay, do leave question if you have any. I will answer all of them towards the end, maybe 10 minutes towards the end, right? Okay, let's move on. It's about thoughts. Okay, so now when you're feeling overwhelming, you get irritated, you might get angry sometimes, you get demotivated. So these are some of the things that you might want to consider to help yourself during that period. Okay, the first one is getting it out or write it out. So I love to describe energy and emotions or feelings as energy. Okay, so energy is not something that disappears on itself. You have to do something, you have to convert it into something. So how to convert it, how to get it out? Talk to somebody. Other example could be exercising. Do something to channel your energy out, channel your feelings, negative feelings out. Okay, when you're sad, do something so that the energy is channeled out. Or you can write it out. Okay, for some people, they are doesn't prefer to talk to somebody. Okay, whenever something happens, so maybe write it out is an option for you. Instead of talking to someone, write them out. Okay, okay, there's a lot of methods or prompts. Okay, to help you to release your negative energy through writing. Okay, so you can check it out, or if not, you can leave and I'll leave my email later on. You can email me to ask about the methods. Okay, I will share with you some of my ideas. right? The second one is about let go of perfectionism. All right, just like I mentioned earlier, a lot of time we would want to plan it 100% nicely before we move on, right? Before we really do something. So I think it's worth to spend some time and think who give you this expectation, or who but is it there's someone who imposed the idea of you need to be perfect to you. Okay, there's something to think of, because a lot of time I think it's self-imposed. A lot of time perfectionism is something that you impose onto yourself. There's no one telling you that you need to be perfect, because I think a lot of people like us know that doing something perfect, it's difficult, and sometimes it's impossible. All right, so this is the second point. The third one, check your expectation. So it's very similar to perfectionism. So expectation, for example, I'm going to use my email example. Okay, so you have an email, and then do you really need to reply it immediately, or can you reply when you schedule it later on? Let me put it nicely. So for example, because I like to batch my tasks, so 10 morning I will look through my emails one time, and then after lunch 1 o'clock I look second time. So for example, if the emails comes in 11, let's say 11, so do you really need to reply it at 11? Okay, talk to yourself, ask yourself, do you really absolutely important to reply it in this moment? Okay, check that expectation. If it's a no, you can leave it to later on. Maybe like for me, after lunch 2 o'clock, check my emails. Okay, I think this is very important because you already established a workflow for yourself. Okay, some people love to stick to their schedule. So if it's something else comes in extra or comes in immediately, it breaks their flow. So it kind of irritated for some people. So check the expectation. If it does, if it's not important, like not really absolutely important to reply in that moment, so leave it for a while. It will not cause a big harm, right? So this is expectation. Let's go on. Have a break. I think a lot of us will know why having a break helps. For example, when I was doing earlier on when I was doing my studies, I took a mathematics paper. So having a break actually helps me to go past that paper, because sometimes let's say I do question 1, and then I go move on to question 2, and I cannot solve question 2. I cannot get the correct answer that I want. But I take a break, like 10-minute break. I go to washroom, get something to drink, and then come back. And therefore, and miraculously, I actually can actually solve that question 2 later on. Okay, so I think this is very useful if you are doing a task that needs high logical sense. Okay, if you're having something that needs your logical thinking and you think that you are at the stuck point, I think it's a great time to have a break. Okay, so pause it for a little while, helps your brain to refresh, and then move on. Okay, and then the fifth one, reframe your thoughts. So I think everyone knows that there's a very famous saying. So you have a glass of water. They will ask, is it a half full glass or half empty glass? Okay, so what would you think? Some people will say it's a half full glass. Some people will say it's a half empty glass. Okay, so it means that how you see the glass actually determine what happened later on. Not Yet for a more positive thinking, for example, a half full glass, you might have higher chances to complete a certain task. If you're thinking that it's a half empty glass, you feel a little bit demotivated, to continue your task. So it's something to think about. Let me use another example. It's about, say you are doing 1,000 pieces of puzzle. Okay, so I have friends that enjoy like doing all this puzzle, and a lot of time they will be saying that, oh, I'm so happy because I complete this much of my puzzle. And I very seldom hear from them that, oh, I still have this much more. Okay, the thoughts of I completed this much and I still have this much. Okay, two different mindset actually give you different motivation. You feel more motivated if you say I completed this much. If you're telling yourself, oh, I still have this much to go, then you might get a little bit demotivated, okay, when you're doing a task. So something to think about it. The last one, getting through the situation. Okay, about this, I was listening to a podcast or video, I forgot. So this is the interesting part that I heard from. During a time that you're really down or really upset, the most difficult thing during that period is not about getting your task done. Okay, because sometimes you have the skills, you have the knowledge to get the task done, but the most difficult thing is that get past your emotion, get past the feeling of getting really upset or really down. Okay, so during this period, it's not so much about getting tasks done, it's about how you get through the situation. Okay, I wouldn't say you won't feel upset or anything like that. It's just that it will pass. Okay, after some time it will pass. What you have to focus now is that get through this period. Okay, how do you get through that period? Refer to the to the 5 points earlier. Okay, that all helps you go through that situation. All right. Okay, before I move on, is there any questions? Okay, please leave the questions in the comment box if you want to ask anything. Anything is fine. Okay. Okay, and then it's about time. About time. Okay, let's see. So decide what matters. Okay, it's very similar to the personal pie earlier. You decide. You have to decide what is important or what is really important for you, that you need to get that done. It's very similar. Let me put this on. It's very similar to your personal priority pie. Okay, no one can decide for you. You have to decide for yourself. You decide what is important. Oops. Okay, right. Decide what is important. Say no to the task that you don't think is important. Okay. One thing to remember here: when you say no, okay, you are not rejecting a person. You are rejecting a request. You are turning down a request. You are not rejecting that person. Because a lot of time we think that it's very difficult to say no to some people. Like, for example, your best friend maybe ask you to help out something, but you really don't have the time. So what can you do about it? So if it's you have something to do, something important to do, you might need to say no. Okay, so remember, it's not about rejecting a person, you're just turning down a request. All right, and what's the next one? Do not cut down on your sleep time. Oh yes, this is very important. So a lot of I think I know it's a little bit hard if you're like before exams, you need to stay up a little later to study, maybe, or you have something to hand in the other day and you need to stay up for a little to finish that up. Okay, that is fine. But if you're constantly doing it like over a period, for me, over a period of 1 full week, 7 days, then I'm like, I think I'm totally burnt out. Okay, I'll be really, really tired and don't want to do anything else. So cutting down on sleep time, it actually slows down your brain activity. It slows down your brain activity. You might find yourself do things slower, and it's not so clear. If you're doing something that need your logical sense or need any high attention tasks, then cutting down on sleep might be a trouble for you. Okay, so don't cut down your sleep. Get enough rest. All right. Let me see. Do I have anything else? Ooh, no more. But before that, let me come back. Let me answer your question. Please leave your question if you have any. Okay, let me go with this one. Is there any way to stop procrastination? There are techniques that can help you with that, but it's also very much up to your behavior, your persistence of not wanting to procrastinate. That is important. So one thing that I normally show people if they want to stop procrastination is go back to this. Go back to this. Yep, it's to go back to this high. Because this is very important because I think it shows very, very clearly that which part of your life is very important, and then you put a little more time and energy to it. Okay, how would I put it? Sorry, let me think a while. Okay, so you know which part is important for you. So you also know which part is not important. Not say not important, but less important in this stage of life. Okay, which is less important in this stage of life. When you know that, do a schedule for yourself. The important while doing schedule is that you need to include flexibility. There's one thing that I find a bit a more common mistake that everyone's made. When they do schedule for themselves, they don't allow flexibility. Okay, when you don't have that flexibility, it actually can demotivate you easily. So what you can do is that, for example, let's use my schedule as example. So let's say weekend. I enjoyed reading, so I will spend like 2 hours before I sleep on reading. Okay, that would be for me. It's personal development. And then I have spent time with family and friends. I'll put that in one category. Say in the noon. Okay, so in the noon, let's say 1 to 3, and then my sleep time. How will I put my sleep time? Maybe before 12, 10 to 12. So you have 1 to 3, 3 o'clock to 10 o'clock. That's 6 hours there. Okay, you can choose to put something in or not. Okay, for me, flexibility is very important. So I tend to put this 6 hours of flexibility for myself. Why? Because sometimes I might want to sleep early. So if I choose to sleep early, it means that I cannot do my reading from 10 to 12. I might need to do that, say, 8 to 10. Okay. Having 2 hours of reading, it's important for me because I can keep track of myself, where am I at that time, and it's a very relaxing activity for me. Okay, it's just for me, not for you. Yeah. Okay. So where did I? Yeah. So in that, if I put my 8 to 10, and then you have 3 to 8. Yeah. In these hours, I'll put nothing for myself. But it doesn't mean that I do nothing. Okay, I will schedule it, but I will still do something. But it depends on, do I have appointment with my friends? Am I going to meet my friends? Okay, and then, or am I going to go for exercise. Okay, I really don't put exercise in my schedule. So maybe in that 6 hours of free time, do I want to go exercise? That's another one. Okay, so for students, procrastination, I think a lot of time you mean assignments. Okay, means assignments. It depends on people. If I do have friends that actually you have more motivation if you do it last minute. That is absolutely fine. Okay, there's nothing wrong about it, but you need to know there's always trade-off when you make decision. Okay, like this pie. Okay, there's always trade-off. So if you choose to do it last minute, you have to bear the consequences of getting stressed out, or you might need to bear the consequences of not able to be as good as you want. Okay, that is one. And for those who find having like doing it early it's better, how to avoid procrastination. So I think you might spend like a specific time every day, maybe a very short time. Let's say short time for assignments, I think it'll be 15 to 20 minutes. Okay, if you're doing an essay, doing like the essay with 3,000 words, you need to research, you need to read the journals. You spend 20 minutes every day reading journals, or you can not fix on the time, but you fix on how many journals you want to read. Like say 3 or 4 journals a day that you need to read. You don't put a time frame for yourself, but you make yourself to read 4 journals a day. Okay, if you keep up with this, of course it takes a lot of your will, your persistence to do this. Okay, so I think a lot of people have to know, if you choose to do this, please also bear the consequences on the bad side. Okay, Crystal, I'm not sure because I think I'm going everywhere. So do I answer your question, or do you need something more specific? Okay, let me know. Let me go through the comments. Okay. Okay, Terry, thank you for your comments. Okay, to stop procrastination, spend as little as 10 minutes a day for a task. Planning or doing the chores. Procrastination too late is bad, but there is benefits to it too. Depends on the timing. Yeah, I totally agree with this. Okay. How would I say, procrastination? It might be bad for somebody because they cannot take the negative consequences of it. Okay, but for some people they find it more motivated if they do it in the last minute. Okay, it really depends on people, and it really depends on like what you're comfortable with. Okay, there's so much of way of life, and it actually depends on you, which one do you feel is comfortable. Okay, thank you, Terry. I think I agree very much with this. Okay, do I have more questions? Let me see. Do I have more questions? If there's no, can you guys? Oh no, okay. Can you please help me with my feedback form? Okay, what do I really need in my feedback form is that because I want to do a topic that relates to you more. Okay, I need to your I want to know like what you need from us so that we can prepare that for it. Okay, sometimes I'll think that this is important or useful for you, but sometimes you might not think that. Okay, so please help me understand like what do you really want us, what kind of topic you're looking at, or what kind of events you're looking at. So you can put that in this feedback form. I have a comment section there, so just let me know what would you like, maybe for future topics, what would you like to listen to, or what are the events that you wish for. All right, while waiting for this, I'm still taking in questions. So if you have questions, just let me know. Okay, I'm sorry, I'm gonna sit. It's tiring. Can you see me? Yes, you can see me. Yeah. Or maybe let me put the link up if the QR code is too troublesome for you. Yep, this is the link to the feedback form if the QR code is too troublesome for you. So yeah. So what I shared today is not something that you need to do, because I believe there's different ways of living. Different people find different things comfortable. So it's not that you need to do this in order to feel less overwhelming. Of course, it takes takes a lot of practice to accommodate that technique into your life. Okay, knowing that technique doesn't help you to reduce your, the overwhelming feelings or feeling demotivated. It won't help you by knowing, but it helps you if you keep practicing it and accommodate into your daily life. Okay, that's only help. It's not about just listening or thinking about it. And I also think that it doesn't work like overnight. So it take practice. So how long does it take a habit to form? Okay, for you. Then it might take that long, okay, to help you to feel the effectiveness of all the strategies or techniques I shared earlier. Yeah. Or if you don't have questions or you have some comment for me maybe, or what I can do better, because I received some feedback earlier from my previous talks. I have too much oh in my talk, so I try to control it. I hope it's not too much today. Yeah, if there's no question, I think I might end this. Is everyone good? Okay, you can just drop me a bye-bye and then I'll close this off. Then I know there's no question. Bye. Yeah, if you have nothing else, you actually can go off after you do this feedback form. So yeah, thank you for your time. I hope this is helpful. Do let me know if you have something more related. Some other topics that you wish to hear from us. Do leave it in the comment section in the feedback form. Yep. Thank you. You're welcome. Bye. Okay, I think I'll just end here. Thank you, everyone. I hope you learned something, maybe. All right. Just a little advertisement. We have a free yoga session this Sunday. It's also Father's Day, so grab all your family members and let's have a healthy afternoon. It'll be 3 o'clock. 3 o'clock in the afternoon, Sunday. You can find the Zoom ID and password in Sagi College Kuala Lumpur Student Affairs Facebook or Instagram. So I'll be there. So I'll see you then. Bye-bye.